Okay, so good day everyone. Welcome sa atong discussions about soil mechanics. So I know na ano siya, foundation engineering, but more ay napata sa soil mechanics, and I know lisod kayo na topic usually, especially when we talk about stresses in soil kay medyo technical siya. But don't worry, ato ni i-break down into simple terms para mas sayon sabton. So, okay, let's start. So, next slide. So, first question, what causes stress on soil? So, basically, ang stress sa soil comes from loads nga ginabutang on top of it. So, for example, kung magtukod ta og building, bridge, or bisag road embankment, and weight ana nga structure mo transfer sa ilalom nga soil. So maong ang main cause mao nang inana ang main cause of stress. Pero dili lang tungod sa structure sa naay natural causes sa like the weight of the soil itself or changes in groundwater table. Ang soil bisan pa nga murag stable tan-awon, sige gyapon siya og work underneath and disturbing those stresses. So in short, stress on soil is caused by surface loads from structures and natural conditions like soil weight and water pressure. So that's why it's very important na masabdan siya, especially as, future engineers, para kabalotaan sa ang pag-analyze sa stability ug strength sa atong foundations. So, okay, klaro na ba nga naay stresses sa soil? So, now, mas mo complicate na siya kung mo mention ta og terms like total stress, poor water pressure, and effective stress. So next slide, please. Okay, the next question. Mr. Tabanera, basta na kay insights ani?
So, what is effective stress in total stress and poor water pressure? So, based kaganiya sa atong discussion, total stress mao ang overall stress at the depth tungod sa weight sa soil, water, o surface loading on top. So, the total stress increases with the depth and unit weight. So, there are four types of total stress. The first one is the homogeneous soil. Second one is in below a river or lake. Third is multi-layered soil. And fourth is with a surface load. So the second one is pore water pressure. Mao ang pressure sa tubig sulod sa pore sa yuta. It depends on the depths below, the water tables, and the seepage conditions. And lastly, ang effective stress mao ang tinuod nga stress nga gadala bitaw sa soil or the skeleton particles. Mao ni ang importante for soil strength and settlements. So that would be all.
So we have here the principle of effective stress. The fundamental relationship shows that total stress on soil is the sum of the effective stress and the pore water pressure. Sigma or total is the total vertical stress, and sigma prime is the effective stress. U is the pore water pressure. So we come up sigma is equals to sigma prime plus U. So next is the effective stress formula. This formula is rearrangement of the principle of effective stress used to calculate the effective stress directly. We have here the sigma prime equals sigma minus U. This relationship shows that effective stress is the difference between the total stress and the pore water pressure. And lastly, We have a vertical effective stress in saturated soil. For a saturated soil below the water table, the total stress is calculated from the weight of the soil, which is YZ, and the pore water pressure is calculated from the weight of the water, Y sub WZ. Substituting this into the effective stress formula gives you a simplified expression. Sigma prime is equals to YZ minus Y sub WZ, which is Y is the total unit weight of the soil, Z is the depth below the ground level, Y sub W is the unit weight of water.
Okay, thank you, Philip. So, at least karon nga marag effective stress gid ay ang pinaka K. Now, let's move forward sa theories of estimating vertical stress. So, next slide. Yes, Mr. Bazar, what do you think man about ani?
So thank you, Miss Nalogo, no? So since they already discussed about unsay ga cause sa stress on soil and what is effective stress, total stress, and pore water pressure, let's move on to the differences of the following theories in estimating vertical stress, no? So based on our reference earlier, no, there are four categories in estimating vertical stress. So let's tackle the first one, no. So the first one is approximate method, no. So by the book, this method is assumed that the stress area is larger than the corresponding dimension of the loaded area by an amount equal to the depth of the subsurface area. So gitawag sad ni siya no na 2 by 1 method. Why? So imagine no na 3D shape na trapezoid, no. So when we say 3D shape, no, so dagan gid kay tag i-consider like x, y, and z na mga axis, no. But in this case, no, ato ra i-consider ang duha ka vertical and one horizontal dimension. What I mean is that katulang sa lower base area na side, no, kay di ba sa trapezoid we all know that naay gamay na base sa taas o gamay na base sa ubos, no. So sa approximate method daw, if naay load sa upper base, i-assume daw na siya na uniformly distributed siya ng load, where makakuha ta og formula na stress depth at Z is equal to Q, which is kining Q is the point load over B plus Z multiply to L plus Z. So kining Z is mo ni siya to atong giingon ganina na vertical dimension, no. And kining si B og si L mo ning siyang si B mo ni siya ang width sa dili siya sa surface but sa ilalom bitaw sa trapezoid katong sa long na base, at kanang si B mo na tong width and si L mo na tong taas na length. So mo na siya to ipang consider, no. For regular dimension lang na siya na formula rather. We also have strip footing na equation, no, where ang formula is stress depth at Z is equal to Q over B plus Z multiplied to 1. So actually, this method, no, ang pinakasayon o pinaka-quick na gamiton, no, but it is only an approximation and does not consider the actual behavior of the soil. So the next is Boussinesq theory. So kini siya, no, is more accurate solution by applying the principles of elasticity. So it assumes daw na ang soil is homogeneous, is trophic, semi-infinite, and elastic. And it calculates the stress at any point below the loaded area, no, based on the exact position and depth. So unlike sa approximate method na there, if naay points sa taas, then i-assume gid siya na uniformly load siya tanan. However, kinin na case is dili, no. So this theory is more reliable for detailed analysis compared to approximate method. But kini na method kay grabe ka complex, no, ang computation and taas pud kay ang solution. And with tables man na, pero dili ta mabalakan, no, kay ang table is always given, no, so dili na to kailangan i-memorize. And there are still two more theories left, no, but I will let Mr. Kalugay to talk about those topics. So Mr. Kalugay, can you please elaborate the two left topics?
Okay, next. Thank you, Mr. Bazar. So, next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So, to continue, we have the Newmark influences chart and Westergaard's theory. Now, let me discuss first the Newmark influences chart. So, Newmark's influence chart is used to determine the vertical pressure under the side of uniformly loaded flexible areas for any shape of soil. So, kini siya nga method ay kay giderive na siya from Boussinesq's equation for point load by integration. So, kini nga method kay very useful ni siya for hand calculation before computer methods became standard. It is because unlike sa Boussinesq's theory and Westergaard theory, which is to be discussed later, nga kailangan pa og equations for stress distribution involving ang mga fractions, exponents, and square roots, which is time-consuming due to manual computation. Ang Newmark's influence chart is simplified to niya by converting those into counting influence zones. So, para makalculate day ang vertical stress, no, using the Newmark influence chart, natay formula nga stress is equals to QIN. So, ang Q di ay kay mo na siya ang contact stress. Ang N kay number of blocks. While ang I kay the influence factor. But, take note nga ang I kay kibali constant na siya. I is equals to 1 over 200. So, pwede rin nga itong gamitin nga formula is stress is equals to Q times N over 200. So, Newmark's influence chart is the same principle as Boussinesq's, as I've mentioned ganiya, but made practical for any shape of load. May it be rectangular, circular, or irregular. But keep in mind po nga, ang accuracy aning Newmark's influence chart kay magdepende ragyod on how careful you count, and it still assumes homogeneous and isotropic soil. Now, moving on to Westergaard's theory. So, iyang concept ani kay modification po ni siya sa Boussinesq's theory. So, it is made to address cases where soil is layered or has a laminar structures like kanang mga stiff clays or soils reinforced with thin sheets. So, ang key difference diyan no sa ato ni siyang i-compare. Ang Boussinesq theory kay ang stress niya na spreads widely outward as depth increases or broad bulb. While ang Westergaard, stress is more confined vertically under the load, narrow or deeper bulb. So, applicable day ang Boussinesq no sa homogeneous or isotropic soils like kanang mga clean sands. While ang Westergaard's theory is better siya for layered or anisotropic soils like kanang mga stiff clays or layer deposits. So, basically, no, ang Westergaard's theory modifies Boussinesq by assuming no lateral strains. It is useful for laminated or layered soils, while ang Boussinesq's theory works best for isotropic and homogeneous soils. So, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. So that wraps up our discussion. So quick recap lang, ang stress sa soil gikan sa loads of natural conditions. Then we learned about the total stress, poor water pressure, and effective stress. Mao gid ang pinaka-importante. And then we also discussed the different methods. So hopefully, mas klaro na. And next slide please. And thank you everyone for participating and thank you for listening. Good day.